Have you ever noticed how heavy silence can feel when you're waiting for someone's reaction? That small pause after you've spoken, when you're watching their face, scanning for any flicker of approval or disapproval. In that pause, your whole sense of peace can hang in the balance. If they smile, your chest loosens. If they frown, your stomach sinks. All from a single look, a single word, a single gesture. That's the invisible weight of approval. And though it's unseen, it can shape your every step. It whispers before you speak. Make sure they like this. It hovers when you make choices. What will they think of you? It shadows even your moments of joy, as if the joy is not quite real until someone else confirms it. This is the quiet chain many of us live with, often without realizing it. A chain that links our worth to another person's expression. A chain that teaches us to edit ourselves, to hesitate, to question our own truth. But here's the truth the chain doesn't want you to see. This need for approval is not natural. It is learned. It is borrowed. It is something you were taught to believe, not something that belongs to your essence. From childhood, we were conditioned. Approval equals safety, disapproval equals danger. And so the chain was forged link by link. Yet even here, in the very moment you feel its grip, a quiet question rises. What if their approval was never the measure of your worth? What if every time you searched outward for confirmation, you were overlooking the deep well of acceptance already alive within you? Pause and feel that. Really feel it. Beneath the restless checking, beneath the anxious waiting, beneath the constant adjusting, there is something untouched, whole, already radiant. You have always been complete. Approval was never the missing piece. The weight only feels real because you've carried it so long, but it isn't yours. It never was. If the chain is so heavy, why do we keep wearing it? Because the mind is clever. It convinces us that approval equals survival. It tells us, if they love me, I'm safe. If they reject me, I am at risk. This belief runs so deep it feels like truth. But it isn't truth. It's an echo of the past. Think about it. As children, we learn to read every gesture, every tone of voice, every sigh of disapproval. Approval meant belonging. Belonging meant survival. That wiring is still inside us, and it tricks us into believing we cannot live without their nod. But notice how fragile this trap makes you. Your mood rises and falls with the reactions of others. One compliment lifts you sky high. One criticism drags you into despair. You become like a leaf blown about by every passing wind. And the worst part, approval never satisfies for long. You get it. You bask in it for a moment, and then the hunger returns. The chain tightens. The mind whispers again, what if next time they don't approve? What then? It's an endless chase. A treadmill you can't step off until you realize the treadmill isn't real. Here's the paradox. The very thing you believe gives you safety actually takes it away. When your worth depends on others, you are never free. But when you begin to see approval for what it is, a story, a survival echo, a habit of the mind, then the chain begins to loosen. And here's the deeper invitation. What if every moment of craving approval was not a failure, but a reminder? A reminder to pause, to notice, to return to your own light. A signal that you have forgotten your wholeness, and an invitation to remember. The trap is only a trap when it goes unseen. The moment you see it clearly, you already hold the key. So how do you step free from the invisible chain? Not by fighting the need for approval, not by scolding yourself for wanting it, but by stepping into the space between the craving and your awareness. Imagine this. You've just spoken your truth, and now the silence hangs. The old chain tugs. You wait for their face to tell you if you're enough. Instead of tightening with fear, pause. Notice the tug. Notice the ache in your chest, the restless thoughts, the scanning eyes. And now, instead of obeying, just watch. This is the space of freedom, a breath between their reaction and your worth, a gap wide enough to notice, I am not the craving. I am not the chain. I am the one who sees it. This is not emptiness. The space is alive. Within it, the grip begins to soften. Your breath deepens, your chest expands. And for the first time, perhaps, you taste what it's like to exist without needing their nod. Here's the miracle. When you no longer chase approval, your presence becomes magnetic. People feel your authenticity. They sense your freedom. Connection deepens, not because you performed for it, but because you no longer hide who you are. And even if fear still whispers, but what if they don't like me? Let it whisper. Let it drift by like a cloud. You are not the whisper. You are the sky that holds it. Each time you step into this space, the chain grows weaker. Each time you rest here, freedom grows stronger. And little by little, the story loses its power. Now imagine a life lived free from the chain. You speak not to please, but because your words are true. You choose not to be liked, but because your choice feels aligned. You rest, not when someone else says you've earned it, but because rest itself is holy. This is not a fantasy. It is what happens when the story of approval is surrendered. Not pushed away, not denied. Simply released, allowed to dissolve like mist in sunlight. In this release, you discover something astonishing. You don't need their nod. You don't need their permission. You don't need their constant affirmation. Because beneath it all, you are already enough. You always were. And in that enoughness, life begins to bloom. Joy shows up in small, unexpected places. Encounters feel lighter. Your heart expands. Not because the world finally approves of you, but because you no longer demand that it does. Take a deep breath here. Feel the truth of it. The chain was never locked. It only felt that way because you believed the story. The key was always in your hand. And now, a gentle invitation. If this resonated, let yourself share it. Comment below. What moment did you recognize your own chain? What glimpse of freedom have you felt? Your reflection might be the exact light someone else needs today. And if you want to keep walking this path of noticing, of softening, of remembering your wholeness, subscribe so we can keep unfolding this journey together. Because freedom is not found in their approval. It is found in your own awareness. And right here, right now, that awareness is shining. You are whole. You are free. You are light.